The handshake, and Billy, this is for the big money.
This is for the big money. $2,500 difference, Chris.
That is a big difference. What's he do that for with the towel on the sole of his shoe?
Jim likes to get good traction at the line. He has a long slide. He rubs the dust off with the towel.
See, there's Dick Weber to his left with the PBA shirt on.
He's the alternate here today.
Yes. Yeah, the two of you got to know each other pretty well in Kansas City at the All-Star again, didn't you?
Anytime you're bowling that close to Dick Weber, you know him pretty good. That's a good seat.
Their first shot of the final. From the left side of the approach, he'll try to do what the spare maker tells you to do.
Beautiful cover.
Isn't it? Looks like to me just a perfect hit. Here's Glenn Allison, who downed Bill Hardwick by 11 pins, 193 to 182. His first shot on 12.
A little more speed on 12. Left the 10.
We've seen a few 10s on 12, haven't we?
The boys are swinging the lane a little bit more. Coming in behind the head pin, Chris, sometimes causes you to leave that 10.
A little unusual for a fellow, we're speaking of Glenn Allison, to win consecutively match game championships as he did in the Southern match game title.
He likes that Southern match game championship. The last 2 years in a row he's won it.
And he marks with a spare in the first frame, so things are even up now as Glenn moves over to the lane that he wants to finish on. His footwork is sort of interesting.
Solid. You might call this the battle of the little men.
Mm-hmm. Here are the 2, 4, 5, and 8 once more here in Oklahoma.
Jim seemed to pick up a little speed midway through that first game that he bowled against Bill Aziz, and here we notice the spare maker show you the proper way to convert the 2, 4, 5, 8.
Are you aware that you're making a speed change when this happens to you, Billy?
No, not immediately, Chris. So much so that he's even off balance at the line now. It oftentimes happens, Chris, when you're trying to get more speed to make the ball hold the line. You find yourself rushing with your feet. There he was. Beautiful shot. Notice here how he moves to the left and will bowl across the lane, the same angle that the spare maker shows. Directly into the 10.
Just follow that arrow. Glenn Allison, who is in the lead, looking for a double now. 20 through the first. St. John, 24th in the second. Spare up.
Glenn, a picture of concentration here. He's going for that big double. And he got it.
Oh, he really powered those off the lane, didn't he?
That's, of course, key ball. When a man opens, Chris, invariably your opponent will come back with a double, and, of course, that leaves him now 26 pins in the lead.
Next week, it's the Cotton Bowling Palace in Dallas, Texas. To Curtis Sanford.
Oh,
staff ready for you fellas to come into town to compete.
He's labeled those last
Another
three.
one. Glenn Allison with 3 in a row. St. John for the spare up in the third, 24th of the second, now shooting in the fourth frame.
We use an expression, hitting like a sledgehammer, and I'd say those last 3 really did.
Pretty sound, too, isn't it?
Here goes Jim.
He's expressionless, Glenn Allison.
He's a very cool performer, too, Chris.
Here's something that indicates the way in which the 610 should be covered. The spare maker. Perfect. Another 2, 4, 5, 8. Jim St. John of Chicago, Illinois, who in the second semifinal won by 7 pins over Bill Aziz, a 211 to a 204. Last time he had the 2, 4, 5, 8. He picked the 2, 5.
Better hurry.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Did it again. Bad break. Second open. just can't recover from errors in the game of bowling, Billy.
Not when a man is striking like Glenn Allison is, Chris. Give him 2 opens like that. It, of course, charges Glenny up, and he's working on 3 now. He should throw this one very free, and it might be about the end of the match if he can throw 2 more here. Going for 4. Got a nice break there.
He did. Glenn today is wearing that yellow PBA shirt. Jim St. John powder blue. And we look at the score, and St. John is a lot bluer. And looking at it, 66 through the 5th, and Allison is out in the lead, now working on a spare, shooting on 11.
He looks... Boy, he's got a lot of confidence on lane 11.
Sure has. Capacity crowd as Allison is in the lead. We'll be right back with the rest of the final match of today's exciting tournament on Professional Bowlers Tour. Back again at the Planet Bowl in Midwest City, Oklahoma, right near Oklahoma City, which covers 620 square miles, the city itself. Did you know that, Billy?
I didn't know the exact mileage.
And right in those city limits, there are derricks. And at the base of those derricks, there are pumps working.
Be tough to have one of those in your front
all
yard.
the ground is that black gold. Jim St. John.
Trying to get back in this match. Almost another disaster. People on the side there couldn't see that the 7-pin was still standing.
That's right. He automatically has picked up a great deal of rooting interest from a lot of the spectators in this jammed Planet Bowl. Crowds have been wonderful here these few days that the tournament has been underway.
Throughout the entire tournament. Hold it, Jim.
Jim is not on his game in this final, but he's assured of $2,500 because the winner gets 5 and the man that finishes second.
That always salves the wounds a little bit, Chris.
Yes.
But he's still not out of the wood. It's, as long as you say on paper, anything can happen. You never know when you're going to run into a split or 2. The other bowler gets 3 or 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Still wide.
And again on the same lane.
Of course, he plays a little bit more hook than Glenn or Bill Hardwick or Bill Aziz, and he's swinging lane 11, and it's been a pretty tough lane to hook throughout the tournament. You've had to play it in pretty tight.
Last 2 times, he picked the 2 and 5 and the 4-8. Glenn Allison looking at the score sheet. Jim St. John.
He's going a little more direct in this time. Almost chopped.
Yeah, look at him walk away. There's a wonderful competitor. Jim St. John, a member of the Professional Bowlers Association, headed by its executive director, Eddie Elias.
We have another PBA tournament member that was here for the tournament, Jim Deskin, who is the boxing commissioner for Nevada, where they have the world middleweight title fight next week at Las Vegas.
A variety of people, members of the PBA, professionals, come from all walks of life, don't they?
Glenn's wide on 12.
Left the 5-pin.
Of course, at this point, he can afford to be conservative, and as long as he doesn't get those big splits.
You know, ABC TV brings you a full day of sports entertainment Saturdays over most of these stations. First, there's Challenge Golf, starring Arnold Palmer, with Gary Player, then the popular Professional Bowlers Tour, followed by the program that really lives up to its name, ABC's Wide World of Sports, as the 5-pin is lowered by Glenn Allison. And on Saturday nights, it's the Fight of the Week, followed by Make That Spare on ABC TV, America's #1 network for sports. And, of course, you know that World Championship fight you were talking about is on ABC's Fight of the Week.
That's right, Chris, next Saturday night.
Beauty. He loves 11. He wants to finish on 11.
Yes, he does, Chris. Glenn likes a lane where he has to roll the ball and play it in a tight line toward the pocket.
So Glenn at one time had a wide sweeping hook, didn't he?
Oh, yes. Glenn's a teammate of mine, and he used to throw the ball from left to right. Now he's going pretty straight.
He was like Bill Lillard almost, wasn't he?
Yes, most of the boys have converted to that in recent years, Chris.
Jim just can't do anything quite right.
As we said earlier, Chris, when it's all good, it's wonderful, and when it's bad, it's all bad, and that's what's happened to Jim St. John here this afternoon. Margin now 58 pins and 3 frames to go. It's what we call about out of the wood. Jim St. John has a possible 181, and should Glenn Allison open in both the 9th and the 10th frames, he would still come up with a 195 or 6, depending on the count.
Right. Next week, the PBA Dallas Open live on ABC television from Curtis Sanford's Cotton Bowling Palace in Dallas.
He got it back that time.
You know, we spoke of how much it takes to travel on tour for you PBA persons. You know, last year, Jim St. John, on the summer tour, he took his entire family on tour. It's amazing, isn't it?
He has 2 children, too, and when you're traveling with 4, the expenses mount up. At this point, Glenn looks like he just wants to stay behind the foul line, Chris, and that's really all he has to do. Must be a nice feeling.
It certainly is, because I recall, Billy, any game or match you've been in, it's always been nip and tuck, and you have to sweat right down to the wire. It isn't often they get out and have somewhat of a commanding lead.
It certainly isn't, Chris, in a one-game match especially. I'd like to have that feeling one of these days pretty soon.
You will. After all, this is only our 6th stop on the exciting national tour, PBA Opens. You were on 3 of the first 5, finishing 2nd twice.
Well, God willing, I'd like to be around for a few more years. I'm graying a little bit, but...
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? That's right.
When you needed a strike and had one go like that, that would gray you up a little bit, too. You notice Bob Kwolek, George Howard, and Dick Weber all looking up toward the score sheet, figuring things out, and now you can figure it out.
Looks like Glenn has got his 3rd PBA tournament wrapped up.
Another powerhouse by Glenn Allison, native of California, now bowling out of St. Louis. Incidentally, we talked about size. He's 5'7" and weighs 155. So he is not really a big man, but makes big strikes.
He really gets low at the line. He has terrific power in that arm swing. You notice that high follow-through? Terrific pin action.
The man that's been 4th twice, in 61 and 62, on the money winning list, Glenn Allison, performing very beautifully here and rolling a 228 over Jim St. John.
Jim has a possible 181, which would... Actually, at this point, it doesn't mean anything in the standings because he's automatically 2nd.
Automatically gets $2,500. This man from Chicago, 32 years old, Jim St. John. Still very careful and wipes off the soles of those shoes.
Jim is only 32 years old, I think, and of course you're going to see him for many years to come. He doesn't tire, he doesn't wear himself out. He's a very smooth stylist.
And you know, this is the 2nd time.
Look at here. Oh, I thought we were going to get a break.
6-10. 2nd time in 6 telecasts that he has been on, having finished 3rd in Denver. He's won $3,450 thus far this year, and today he'll add $2,500 to that total.
He skipped the tournament last week at St. Louis to be on Make That Spare, but the other 5 tournaments he has played in, and he has made the round of 16 each of the 5 weeks.
Nice round of applause, Jim St. John, and a happy winner, Glenn Allison, with a 228, is the $5,000 winner here at the Planet Bowl in Midwest City, Oklahoma.